I've always been a backyard explorer. For me, I believe in this whole concept of chambalas, like hidden places.
When I stepped outdoors, personally realized the scale of climbing won't go up if we don't push outdoor as well.
And in Delhi, I thought there's no scope of outdoors. Because whoever I spoke with, they would be like, yeah, there's a place called Dhauj, but so many problems they would list down. And then that just held me back.
Visited Dhauj couple of times and I didn't enjoy it.
So Sandeep and I, one of these days, we're like, come on man, let's just go and see what this whole thing is about,
So I couldn't appreciate Dhauj climbing because I never introduced in a way how it been done.
Also, Mohit Oberoi always told me that going and top roping in Dhauj is not the way that Dhauj is meant to be. The lockdown happened, and then I realized now it's high time that we actually climb all of these lines in Dhauj. We realized that we have an opportunity to create something where we can benefit everyone, and then Dhauj gave us something so close to home with such easy access and high density of good climbing routes. So it doesn't matter how strong you are, you'll end up struggling in Dhauj if you climb the way it's meant to be, which is ground up trad climb.
Climbing in Dhauj was never about grades.
Still, these climbs are easy, but while you're leading it, it's a completely different ballgame.
But then the first time I led a route in Dhauj, I think my pants are wet. Because this is nothing that I expected, when you look at the rocks, you'll be like, oh, it seems like there's a lot of features and I can put a lot of pieces and I can just cruise through. That's when you see people climb these same routes 40 years ago. And they were crazy. It's not like running away from this kind of climbing, They were embracing it. They were loving it. They were enjoying it.
Along with Dhauj came the story of the people who climbed there before us, who established the routes, and I used to always be mind blown.
The great thing was that you would really look forward to your every Sunday kind of on a hike and a climb, and it was a super fun day.
When I joined them in '83, my first time I went to Dhauj in December, areas had already been named.
I think we were also lucky to have amidst our community two British guys. One was called Robert Chambers, who's a great climber, and the other one was Bob Honey.
I think there was a very strict code of ethics which is followed till quite some time, that we would not actually top rope routes. If you had to do a first descent, you would climb from bottom up. So the idea was to lead all the climbs ground up. When Robert left, the documentation was handed over to other people.
And, in the early days, I remember we came across a huge problem where there were basically these sand mining mafia there. So they used to blast the rock and take it to the stone crushers and quarry the rock from Dhauj. So when we got to know and we were putting up these climbs, and suddenly you would realize the climb is gone. It's been blasted. So we actually lost a few climbs because these guys would come and dynamite.
When we went there was mining going on. There was huge blasts and trucks would come and take all those rocks. It was a big activity. You couldn't be in that area. They would dynamite. They would blast the rock and it would all fall down and they'd crush it and take it away.
And then we found that the court order said that whatever rock is fallen on the ground, they can take it away, but fresh rock they cannot. So what these buggers used to do, they used to blast it at night. In the morning they used to say to the authorities, "Ye to gira hua rock hai, that is fallen rock," and they used to do their activity again. Thankfully, that is the one good thing that the IMF did for the cause of rock climbing. They put a complete ban through the government, and that's how we have Dhauj surviving.
There used to be two lakes. But this one year, there were both the lakes had merged. So it was up till the village of Mangar.
Of course, lake added a lot of character to that place.
And the climbs here, right in the backdrop, these ones were always to be approached from top of the plateau and then kind of come down and then do the climbs.
So losing the lake is particularly sad.
But then I saw how Moser climbs is like super fast, you know. These anchors are like just there to support like enough, you know. And then it's a faster way of climbing, and it's the Dhauj way of climbing, you know. I met Moser like many years ago, but I didn't know his contribution towards outdoor climbing. And then I came across his guidebook. Moser's guidebook is very elaborate and all the routes are very well defined.
I could look at birds and identify them because they were in the back of the guidebook.
Like after the guidebook came out, like for many years nobody was climbing. For 10-15 years nobody climbed in Dhauj, you know.
So I think the psyche was getting lost. There were no new flesh people coming in. Excitement of going there. That got lost. That is why I stopped. I almost took a 10-year break.
And then I realized instead of progressing, the community is going backwards, you know, because from one of the first places that climbing started in India to being left, like sort of ignored for such a long while. Like the place itself was waiting for us to come.
It's very special area which is being conserved by our older climbers.
And then I was like I started getting this idea that I can do something more with Dhauj.
As the gyms are closed and we have access, we have expertise, why don't we offer this place and open up for other people to come and learn climbing with us?
I think now it's time to get into Dhauj once again.
The development of Dhauj is really the next step for climbers, climbers who are climbing in gyms now.
To arrive there in the middle of the day, and set up anchors and all of that and wait for people to come in. It was a lot of hard work, but it was worthwhile. You know?
Going to the Dhauj was nice because it's so close to 40 minutes. Otherwise, the next closest spot to Delhi is like 8 hours away. The general vibe is amazing.
This Delhi climbs model, I think it's very important. It makes gear available to people. It makes expertise available to people. It's regular. It's every weekend, week in, week out.
For that, Delhi climbs have to sustain. Otherwise, people know about Dhauj, but they don't know. Like who will set up an anchor, who will make sure that the climbing is safe.
One thing that we're able to achieve is to reach out to everyone, not just like beginners or like strong climbers, but also the veteran climbers.
Making that place accessible to more people, that plays a huge role in creating a bigger community.
That's how the Delhi climbs played an important role. The Dhauj revived altogether. Time in Dhauj, I realized there's potential to develop boulders, which been missing out in the past because they didn't have a boulder pads, which we have, and now we have to take it as an advantage and we have to explore more and add our vision to it. Some of the trial lines can be done as high ball, and now we have around 70-80 boulders.
All the bouldering that we've been finding there, and that's just opened up a new realm of climbing in Dhauj.
For me, now Dhauj is completely different perspective altogether.
There's no point being strong, being whatever, as long as there's no community. And I feel for community development, a place like Dhauj, it's a blessing. Otherwise, if there's no community, there is no climbing. But the idea is to have people in Dhauj all the time, not just me, but we want, like I think people to come there more frequently, and it should be like a Hampi or a Badami, that you see people climbing there, somebody walking with a crash pad, It doesn't make sense people coming from outside and trying to sort of do stuff for a short period of time, But rather it should be like locals also involved, Because I organize Suru Fest and I see the power of a festival, like what a festival can do for an area. I'm looking at mobilizing Gridfest more, and make it a bigger event. And like I have the support of the community for Gridfest. The intention is to inculcate like a real love for the place, and embrace it like your own.